Ever since I decided to go all in with Depop, it has become a steady source of income for me. Before then, I started and stopped Depop a few times, which was a huge mistake because if you want to grow a Depop shop that produces consistent sales, that would be my number one tip for you. Give it time, and in the beginning, just focus on growing your store, and then you can focus on the selling tips and marketing tactics, some of which we're going to get into today. But I wanted to make this the number one tip and get this out of the way right from the beginning, because you cannot make consistent sales on Depop if all you have is 5, 10, 20 items up for sale. You're going to need a lot more than that. Like I said, this is where I messed up the first few times that I tried Depop. I would put up a handful of items up for sale. I wouldn't see any traction. Then I would think that it was a waste of time, so I would stop. But I kept hearing around the reseller community, other resellers saying that it worked out for them. It was going really well. So I wanted to give it another try, but this time I told myself that I was going to post on there for 3 months straight, be as consistent as I could with posting and being active on the app. And at the end of those 3 months, I would analyze my results and then decide if I wanted to keep going forward or not. And lo and behold, it worked out. Here's the thing. All items that you post on there are going to have its own individual sell-through rate. Some items are just bound to sell faster than others. Some will sell within a day. Some are going to take a week, some a few months. So the idea here is to post as much as you can so that you can have a mix of items that will sell across all of those timelines. And then eventually you'll have so much up there that you're bound to make consistent sales. So that's what I mean by growing your store, and that's why I say that it's such an important thing to focus on in the beginning, because the more active listings you have up there, the more chances are that you will always have something selling. And when it comes to about how many items you need, it's going to vary from person to person, but from my experience, I'd say that once you get to about 150 to 250 items for sale is when you should start seeing those consistent sales coming in. But one huge thing to keep in mind here is that you cannot just post junk in an effort to grow a Depop shop, because even if you get to hundreds and hundreds of items, if all of those items or most of them are brands and styles that no one wants and no one is actually searching for, then you're still going to get little to no sales. So make sure that stuff you are posting are well picked, unique, and trendy items. That is one big thing you are going to have to do as a clothing or a shoe reseller, is always research and stay on top of trends. I shared a little bit of how to do that in my most recent sourcing tips video, which I can link for you on the screen and in the description of this video. But when it comes to Depop specifically, what I recommend is you come here to the Depop Circular. This is basically the blog that Depop uses to keep us up to date on all things about Depop, like new tools and features they came out with. But most importantly, when it comes to sourcing, what you can come here for is their seasonal trend reports. They post some every month, at the end of every month, but also at the start of every season. Here's the most recent one right here, the Fall Winter 2025 Fashion Trend Report. When you click into each of these, you'll find all sorts of useful information. They highlight all of the trends that are popular right now. They have lots of graphics everywhere to help you identify these trends. And from what I gather from these blog posts is that all sorts of things, categories, and brands do well on Depop. You just have to know which ones are trending at the moment and also what words people are using to find them so that you're able to describe them better in your listings and so they come up in search, helping you make those sales. I'll leave this linked in the description below. Make sure you check it out at least at the end of every month to see what's happening over at Depop so that you are able to grow your store with high quality items that people are actually looking for. So that is the first tip. I do have 7 more tips to go over that are going to help you set the foundation right for your Depop shop, and I will also be sharing some marketing and sales tactics to help you get to those consistent sales. But before we move on to the next one, here I want to take the time to thank Depop for sponsoring today's video and give a giveaway. Later, I'm going to tell you what the giveaway is and how to enter. Tip number 2 is to build your reviews. In the beginning, when you're just getting started, the sales you get are going to be few and far between. But one big thing you can do to ramp them up a lot more quickly is to make the most of those sales you do get. And you make the most of them by giving the best customer service you can, so that those buyers are more likely to come back to your shop, leave a review, and shop from you again. With online shopping, reviews matter a lot. Wherever I'm shopping, my first instinct when I'm buying something I've never bought before or from someone I've never bought from before, I want to check out the reviews to see how they treat their customers. Do they deliver fast enough? Do they have a lot of bad reviews and therefore a reputation of not delivering high quality products? All of those things I want to look out for before I spend my money and take the time to buy from certain shops and certain people on these reselling platforms. People want to know they can trust you before they buy from you, basically. That is why that is one thing you should really focus on in the beginning, building up those reviews. Depop also knows that reviews are very important to customers, which is why they put it front and center on your profile page. So to deliver good customer service and start building up your reviews, here are some things you can do. Answer questions quickly. This is something that I could be better about right now, but in the beginning, when I'm starting any platform as a brand new seller, this is something I stay on top of. Ship your items same or next day. Add a short thank you note in the package. This is not something you have to do forever, because once you start having a lot of sales, it can be a bit time consuming, but in the beginning, it's a nice touch to add, and it will increase your chances of getting those reviews. And then another suggestion I have is just to ask family members or friends, if you can, to buy something from you and leave a review just to get those reviews started for you. Tip number 3 is to create very strong descriptions. The description of your item is this block of text right here, right below your pictures, but also the description does include all of this information down here that Depop asks you for, and all of this is just as, or maybe even more important than this part up here that you have to fill out. We'll get into these drop down menus in a moment. For now, let's talk about this text up here that you have to fill out. Here you have up to 1,000 characters to tell potential buyers about your item. Don't have to use all of those characters, but you do need to use enough of them in order to make a good and compelling description. This is an important skill to learn, how to create very good descriptions, because they're going to do 2 things for you. Number 1, descriptions give the buyers all of the information they need to decide whether they want to purchase from you or not. So use that space to add your measurements. You could also talk about some of your policies, how often do you ship out, and anything else you feel is important to help them make that buying decision. The second very important thing that description is going to do for you is help your listing show up in search. When a buyer types something into that search bar and clicks enter, Depop is going to scan quickly throughout their platform to find all of the listings that have those exact keywords that the customer put into the search bar in their descriptions. So that's why it's very important for you to make note of that there too. Add any keywords that describe the type of item you're listing and the vibe that it has as well. And to make this easier, one huge tip I have for you is to create templates that you can reuse again. All you'll have to do is tweak a few things and then it'll be ready to go, so it doesn't take you that long. Here are all the templates I use for all sorts of items. I'm going to click into this one right here, the athletic sneaker women's template, to show you what it looks like. So here I have a title that is almost done and also a description that is almost done as well. It just has a few blanks that I have to fill in. This is on List Perfectly. It's where I save all of my templates, but before I did this, I would save them on a Google Doc, so you can do that as well, or any shortcut extension app thing, you can save them there too. Let me show you what it looks like once it's filled in. Here on Depop are these women's athletic shoes. If I click here on show more, you can see right here is the title, here is the condition. I always put women's size after that, and then features, material, and I always have this here that is the same on every single description, just a little bit about me and my policies when it comes to shipping. And then towards the bottom, I always add just what the item is for, what occasion, activities, the style, profile. Here's my opportunity to add some of those keywords like we talked about. I'm going to scroll down here and click on edit just to open up this listing to show you another part of the description that's even more important. When I talk about creating a strong description, like I mentioned, that includes this little block right here, right under your pictures and the text you add there. But another part of a strong description is these drop down menus down here and having as many filled in as possible. Think of all of these fields as Depop asking you questions about your item, so that they know where to catalog it on their site, so your item shows up for the right buyer when they search for it. Filling out all of these fields is basically like you helping Depop help you. So make sure you don't gloss over any of these fields here. You don't have to fill them out if they don't apply to your item, and don't select anything that isn't true about your item, but you do want to carefully go through and select all the fields that do apply, as many as you can, just to again give Depop as much information as you can about your item so that they know exactly who to show it to increase your chances of sales. Now we're moving on to tip number 4, and that is to update your unsold listings. In the beginning, I always recommend to just get started, do everything you have to do, even if it's not perfect. If all you can do is write a 1-sentence description, if all you can do is fill out just some of those fields under the Depop listing, then do that. That is better than doing nothing at all, because listings with just a few of those things done may still have a chance to sell, and it's giving you a chance to practice for now. But once you do start to learn a lot more and you start to get better at taking pictures, describing your items with great keywords, and creating great titles, pricing better, it is a good idea to go back to your oldest listings and apply all of those new and improved skills you've gotten over time to give those older items a chance to sell now too. If your item hasn't sold within like 3 or 4 months, that means something is wrong with it. Maybe the title isn't searchable enough, the pictures aren't appealing, or maybe you've priced too high or too low, and it may just be sitting there when a simple change could make it sell. So make sure you go back and do that to your old listings. And to update items, what I do is just make the changes I want to make to my older listings, then I delete the old one and post the new one as if it was a brand new item I was posting for the first time. This is something you can do pretty quickly if you use a cross-listing software like I do. I use List Perfectly. I can leave more information about it in the description, but it can also be done manually if you don't have a software like that. Let me show you how to do it on the computer. Here I am on my Depop profile, and I'm just going to scroll through and select any of these older listings to show you how to update and relist your items on Depop the manual way. First thing you'll do is just click this black edit button right here and basically go through and make your edits. Change around your title if you need to. That's one of the main things I always change. I rework it, add new keywords if needed, and also just double make sure that all the information you put is correct, that the size, gender, category, everything is correct down here too. Fill in some of these fields if you didn't before. Another big thing you can do is update your price. That's the second thing I always change when I'm updating listings. I lower the price a little bit, and I will oftentimes also lower the shipping price. I do ship on my own, so I have the ability to charge them as much or as little as I want for shipping. I always start off my listings by charging full price for shipping, and then once I'm relisting, I will lower it to about half just to incentivize them even further to buy this older item that I'm trying to liquidate. Once you're done making all of your changes, click here on Save Changes. If you are going to be using the same photos, right click on each photo and go ahead and save each of these images. When I relist, most of the time I do use the same ones. It is very rare when I feel like I need to take pictures from scratch because I've had a pretty professional picture setup from the beginning. But if you feel like you've upgraded and that your items would do a lot better with your new setup, go ahead and take new pictures. But as I said, if you're reusing them, then just save each one. Once you do that, then you can click on copy listing. But when you click on this, right click on it so that you can open it in a new tab. So now I have two tabs open. I have this original listing and this copied listing as well. This new copied listing is going to have all of the details already filled out for you that you had on the original listing, including the changes you just made. The only thing that's not going to be here are your photos, which is why you needed to save them beforehand. I'm going to click on add photo and go ahead and add all of these. So after rearranging the photos, everything is set to go and this new and improved listing is ready to post. I'll just click here to post it. And as for the old listing, all you have to do is go back to it and delete it. Now with the next set of tips we're getting into the fun stuff. I'm going to talk about some of the marketing and sales tactics you can use to get your items moving. But here's the thing, marketing strategies work best if you're using them on solid items that people are actually looking for, that have solid listing descriptions and drop down menus filled in to begin with. That is why you need to make sure you have the fundamentals in place, which is everything we've been talking about up until now. That way you're able to see good results with the next set of tips we're going to talk about. Starting off with one of my favorite and one of the easiest things you can do, and that is to boost your listings. To boost your item on Depop, that basically means to promote your item. So for an 8% fee of the final selling price, Depop will put your item higher up on the page when someone searches for something to buy, which is where you want your items to be, because the higher your item is on a page, the higher the chances it has to sell. What I really like about Depop's boosted system is that you only pay that 8% fee if the customer actually goes through with the purchase. On other platforms, you pay per click. So if someone's browsing around the site and they end up clicking on your listing that you advertise, but they don't actually go through with the purchase, you still get automatically charged for that click because the ad brought them to the listing. They don't care if they buy it or not, you get charged. But on Depop, it doesn't work that way, which is why I like taking full advantage of it, and I apply it to every single listing I post on there. I'm going to go onto my computer and show you what a boosted listing looks like, and then what it looks like for you on the back end once you do make a sale from a boosted post. To show you what a boosted listing looks like, I'm just going to click into the search bar and go ahead and select any of these trending searches they have here. I'll go with baggy jeans. And as you can see right here, this one is boosted. So it is showing up first on the list, which again, anything that's higher up on a page on Depop has a higher chance to sell because it is the first thing buyers see. And if you have everything else in place, great descriptions, great customer service, reviews, and your shop is set up right, once they click into it, if it's what they're looking for, they're going to buy. Now for you, when you make a sale that is boosted, it will show up here under sold, and on all, you will be able to see which ones sold with boosted and which ones did not. If I scroll through here, you will see that I'd say probably like half of my sales sold because I boosted. I'm going to click into this one so that you can see what it looks like when it comes to payment. Here you can see these boots sold for $28.90. They paid $8.99 shipping. They gave me that money and then I used it to buy the label on my own. But what Depop took out from that sale was $303 for boosting and $178 as the payment processing fee. Something you don't see here is a platform fee, and that is because Depop doesn't charge you to sell on their site. So since the selling processing fee is so low and I paid 0 selling fees, I am okay with paying an 8% fee to boost my listing. And just to show you how this compares to other platforms who have higher platform fees, let me do the math right here. If these sold for $28.90, I'm going to put 29 just to have a solid round number, times 0.20%, which is what some other platforms will charge as a platform fee. That would be $5.80 that I would be paying to sell that item there. But here on Depop, all I paid was $3.03 and the $178 processing fee. That is $4.81 that I paid to sell this item, which is less than, say, on Poshmark. On Poshmark now, they are also charging us here in Texas a small tax fee or something, so that is adding even more to what we have to pay them to sell on their platform. So if I had to choose where I want my items to sell, whether on Poshmark or Depop, I would choose Depop because I am paying less even when I'm boosting my item. By this point, if you follow all of the tips I've been talking about, you should have items up for sale that are desirable, that have strong descriptions, and if you decide to boost, I can almost guarantee you that you are going to start seeing a lot of activity on your Depop shop. And by activity, I mean people are going to bag your item, they're going to send you offers, they're going to start liking your item as well. And that is great. That's exactly what you want, because then you can take all of that activity and turn it into sales. That's what these next few tips are going to help you do. So let's get started with the offers you receive. Tip number 6 is to accept offers and follow up. There are a couple points I want to make about the offers you receive. The first one is to accept as many as you can. I mean, it's up to you how low you want to go from the original price you put up for your item. There is a limit of how low you can go before you start losing money there. But my suggestion is to be as flexible as you can with your pricing, at least in the beginning, because accepting smaller offers at first is going to help your shop gain some momentum. Then once you build your store and you do have a handful of reviews, you can start being a little bit more firm with your pricing if you want, and you can start countering these offers instead of accepting. The second very important point I want to make about these offers you receive on Depop is that they are not binding. On other platforms, when you receive an offer and you accept it, the buyer's card is automatically charged and the sale is official. On Depop, that's not the case. When you accept an offer, the sale is still not made. The buyer still has to come back and process their payment in order to complete the sale. For buyers, this is great because they get to look around, window shop, send offers on things they're potentially interested in, and see what people are willing to accept before committing to purchase. But for sellers, this is not as great because we get excited to see an offer on one of our items that we are willing to accept, then we accept it and nothing happens. That's just how Depop works, and you get used to it eventually. Just know it is very normal for some offers you accept to turn into sales and many don't. But there is one thing you can do to increase the chances of a buyer going through with their payment after you accept an offer, and that's to send them a message and remind them. I'd say about 10 minutes or so after you accept an offer is a good time to send a message to remind them. But if you don't want to be looking at your phone all throughout the day and checking all this out, you can just set aside a few minutes, 1 to 2 times a day, to send out these messages. I'm going through my messages on Depop and I'm going to click into one to show you how these interactions could go. Here, this buyer liked one of my items and she sent me an offer. I accepted the offer and sent out this message shortly after. The message says, "Thanks for your offer on the Madden Girl loafers. I accepted it. Once payment is processed, your order will be complete. I ship daily, so it'll be on its way right away. She then came back and went ahead and processed her payment, so I made the sale. She messaged me back, said thank you, and then I just responded saying thank you for your purchase as well. Some of the interactions will go like that. Sometimes they will never answer you and just ghost you, which is what they were going to do in the first place, never go through with the purchase. But you will be surprised at how many actually do come back and purchase the item after they see your message. So even though not everyone will answer you, I think it's still worth doing because you just never know. Maybe the buyer got distracted in the middle of it all. Maybe some buyers are new and they don't even know that they still have to come back and finish the checking out process after you accept their offer. So it is an extra step you have to do, but it will take just like 30 seconds if you use a shortcut messenger app, which is what I use. I use Text Expander, and all I have to do is input DP, I think is a shortcut I use. It'll spit out the whole message where I just have to change a few things. So it can be done really quickly, and I think it's worth it to do. This next tip has to do with the other kind of activity you're going to start seeing in your shop if you're doing things right, and that is the likes you receive. Tip number 7 is to send offers to likers as soon as possible. When someone likes your item on Depop in the marketing world, that is called a warm lead. A warm lead is someone who has shown interest in what you have for sale, and all they need is just a little gentle push to encourage them to go through with the purchase. And that is where offers to likers comes in. When someone likes your item on Depop, you have the ability to send them an offer. Offers to likers on Depop are like a private discount basically. The price of your item will stay the same, and only the liker will receive a notification of the discount informing them that you've lowered the price for them and that they have 24 hours to accept. That time limit adds a little bit of urgency so that it encourages them to make their decision quickly. To send out these offers, what you're going to do is on the app, click that little guy that says My Depop there. At the top, there is a bell icon. Here's where you can see all of your notifications, and that's where you will find your likes too. Right now, I have 2 likes that I haven't sent offers to, so I'm going to click that black button to do that now. I always toggle this thing on here at the top where it says auto send offers, and then you have 3 options. The 15% I will use for items that I just posted. 25% is for items that have been up for a little bit, and then the 35%, that one I will use for my super old items that I really want to get out of my store. So that's how I use those. For these, I'm going to go with 15% and click send offer. Now that liker will get a notification of the discount and also telling them that they have 24 hours to accept. People who like your item are looking for it in that moment, so the sooner you can send out these offers to likers, the better. So make sure you're checking your phone throughout the day and sending out those offers to likers, because if you wait too long, they may end up finding that item from someone else, or they'll just move on and get off the app altogether. Now, if no one accepts your offer when you send it out to likers, there is one more thing you can do, and that's tip number 8, use discounts. Discounts are kind of like offers. You are going to be offering your item at a lower price, but with discounts, it's not going to be a private offer between you and a liker. It's going to be a public discount that anyone on Depop can see, and they will be able to buy your item at that lower price. There is also no time limit with discounts, where with offers, they have 24 hours to buy your item. With discounts, that price is going to stay put until you decide to change it back. Also, unlike with offers, they won't get a notification that your item has been discounted, but it's still very beneficial to do because your discounted item will show up on different sales and deals pages on the Depop website and app, which gives your item a little bit more exposure to help you reach new buyers. So basically, in my opinion, this discount feature is best used to clear out older items by offering it at a bargain price, and offers is best used use to close the sale on newer items. This is something that I prefer to do right before I delist and relist an item. I try one last time to move the item by setting a discount that is public to everyone to see if I can get it sold before taking the time to do those updates. Let me show you how it works on my phone. I recently did a discount on my store, so I don't have that many to do, but I will do just a few to show you how it works. When you click on that plus sign in the middle that says sale and you scroll a little bit towards the bottom, you will see an option that says discounts. Once you click on that, what you want to do is just basically select everything you want to discount, and then at the bottom click set discount, and you can scroll this little toggle until you get to the amount you want. It's up to you how much you want to do, but try to do at least a little bit above 10 to make it that much more incentivizing. Once you do click confirm, which I'm not going to do, these are newly posted items, then they will get the notification. So really when I do this, what I do is scroll all the way to the bottom of my shop and look at the older items and set the discounts for those. So if after hearing all of these tips, if Depop feels doable to you and you are brand new to Depop, you can click the link in the description of this video. That is going to take you to a page where you can download the app and start your account so you can start listing. When you do that, that will automatically enter you into the giveaway I was talking about earlier, which is a box of free Depop shipping supplies. If you see a message pop up that says allow app to track, make sure you do click allow. That's going to let Depop contact you via email if you are the winner of the giveaway. About a week after this video goes live, they're going to randomly select a winner from the people who signed up, and they're going to contact you via email. With all of that said, I really hope you found this video helpful and that these tips help you grow your Depop shop and to start seeing more consistent sales there. In the comments down below, let me know which of the tips was your favorite. Which one are you going to be trying out? That's all from me today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.